Yeah, open up with our practices we've had leading up to finding out who our opponent is, and we did a good job of prepping before. Our coaches did a tremendous job of looking through college football, finding different ideas, people that are doing things well in different areas, studied some different teams, and got to look at teams that are doing well in their specific areas. So I thought that time was good for us. I thought it was really good for our young players. We got a lot of reps and a lot of work on young players developing. Some guys are going to have to step up and be able to play for us. We got recovery. We got a lot of recovery and getting healthy and trying to get guys back. I know you guys will have a lot of questions for injuries and things. I'm not going to be able to answer all of them because I still don't know. We're still, 19 days away trying to get guys back, and had a good spirited practice this morning. Guys are excited to know, who we're playing, and I think that's always important once you get the opponent defined to start that prep and getting ready. So that I'll open it up.
Coach already hit you with a housekeeping question. To start off with, how has Dontrell and Bo handled any in-house discipline that they have received for following their arrest, and do you anticipate them playing in the Sugar Bowl?
Yeah, both those guys disappointed in their decision-making, and we always say decision-making is a skill, and made poor decisions. They paid a consequence for that, and they're continuing to pay a consequence for that, and they'll finish up their consequences for that. So I hope both of them make better decisions in the future.
Yeah, Kirby, how is Gabe Harris doing, and what makes him such a valuable part of what you guys do defensively?
Yeah, Gabe's a wrecker, man. He wrecks things. He's tough, physical, relentless. He's been a force with our defense, and he's one of those guys that doesn't question things. He just gets out there and works, competes, and gets better, and really proud of the improvement he's made for our defense.
Is Gabe dealing with a turf toe, and is he going to be able to play in the bowl game?
Yeah, he's dealing with a little bit of a turf toe, and we're hoping to have him available.
Okay, that wasn't really going to be my question because he asked it, but I want to ask you about the offense for Ole Miss with Lane not there. What sort of changes did you see when you either watched the game on Saturday or studied their film?
I don't understand the question.
Ole Miss's offense without Lane Kiffin, what have you seen?
The offensive coordinator and the staff is still all there. So, I mean, they're not going to make overhaul or make large changes, right? They got something that really works well. They got a really high-powered, explosive, great wideouts, really good tight end, one of the best backs in the country, arguably the quarterback that may be playing the best in the country in terms of his ability to make throws in all areas. I mean, the guy's elite. He was elite last time we played him. He's just as elite or more elite now because he's gotten more experience and more confidence. So they're playing at a really high level offensively, and Lane has something to do with that because he helped build it and get them there. But Charlie's done a tremendous job calling the plays and doing those things.
Yeah, Coach, during the Oregon broadcast, they mentioned Coach Lanning had gone as far as to play a simulated game inside their stadium to stay fresh. Have you thought about anything like that, and what links have you guys gone to make sure you're fresh when this game comes around?
Yeah, we've done the same thing, done simulated games and done situational football, whether that's 2 minute and a half, 4 minute offense, red area, all the different situations you have, and trying to make them more game-like with the anxiety, the crowd noise, the atmosphere, the matchups, and tried to go good on good to keep crisp. But at the end of the day, all those simulations are not real games. And anybody that tells you they got it figured out probably doesn't coach long enough to know that it's a lot more about how you play than how you practice leading up to it. You just do the best job you can and try to prepare them.
This point, we'll switch over to a couple Zoom questions.
Okay, reminder to unmute before you ask your question and then go back to mute. At this time, we'll go to Charles Odom with the Associated Press. Charles?
You mentioned after the SEC championship game the grind of a 13-game schedule. How important has this time been? I realize you've still been practicing, but in getting some recovery for your players leading up to this game.
Yeah, I think it's been good. You have to make it a positive by how you handle it. The positive is the mental practice you get, the recovery you get, the extra lifts you get. The negative is, when you're playing good football, a lot of times you want to keep playing. You want to stay in rhythm. You want to stay in a weekly schedule, and that schedule gets thrown off by the break because you know we had players taking final exams. We gave the players more time off in terms of before they came back, and it really started grinding. So you know you do the best you can with the calendar you have. You try to talk to other people and find out what the best way to do things is. But I'm excited about where our team is. I'm excited that they're practicing the way they are and are excited about the opponent because they have so much respect for the team we have to play.
Okay, next we'll go to Allison Mastrangelo with WSB.
Hey, Kirby. I remember you were saying you were optimistic, hopefully, that maybe Colby Young and Drew Bobo would be back in time. Where are they? And realistically, do you think they'll be back healthy in time for the Sugar Bowl?
We're hopeful to get those guys back and get them back recovered and get them going. They're good football players, and they're going to help us. And we're hopeful to get you know a lot of those guys back. And we got guys dinged up from the practices we've had too.
Okay, next we'll go to Ken Segura, the Atlanta Journal. Ken?
Kirby, you've had some success, a good amount of success playing a team for a second time in the season. So when you could give some insight into that process, like how do you balance showing new wrinkles versus sticking with what's worked for you, for instance?
Yeah, I think as we talked about with Alabama, it's really overrated in terms of rematches and things like that. I think it's how you play defines what the outcome of the game is. You know, your ability to be explosive, not turn the ball over, win situational football. The middle eight. There's all kinds of things in that thing that figure it out, and it really has very little to do with the time before you played them. I mean, everybody's going to watch the time before you played them because you got to look at the matchups. But I don't think either team is exactly the same. Both teams have evolved some, and everybody will have new wrinkles. That's what you do during this time.
Okay, next we'll go to Olivia Sayre with 247.
Seems like something clicked defensively in that fourth quarter against Ole Miss the first time you guys played. How much did that moment lead into the performance we've seen late in the season?
I don't even remember the sequence of games after that. So I do think that those stops were huge for us from a confidence standpoint. But there's a lot of the game that there weren't stops, and they do a really good job. They're hard to stop. They're explosive for a reason. They have good players. They have good tempo. They have good schemes, and the quarterback makes things go, and so does the back. So I don't know if that was the moment that kick-started us to improvement on defense, but because I don't remember the exact games after that. But we have played better down the stretch defensively.
All right, we'll switch to in-person questions.
Coach, from a roster management standpoint, is if you had a chance to meet with most of the guys in terms of knowing the future, I know you're going to be focused on this game, but typically this is the time of year where you get to meet with some guys, and one, and then two, follow-up, same site, same stadium. How different has the approach been? And I'm guessing part of that would have to do with the team and the team's health.
No, I hadn't. I mean, we're focused on this team. I think it would be, remiss to say that we're focused on roster management. We're not focused on it. We're focused on, prep and getting better. And for a while, it's been like intrinsically looking at ourselves and asking each player, did you come here to develop? Did you truly come here to develop? Because if you did, all your buddies are out there right now. Everybody's, announcing what they're doing. I'm announcing that I'm going in the portal. I'm announcing that I'm re-signing. How about you announce that you're getting better and you're going to practice and actually do what the 20 and 30 years of college football players did before you, which was practice in December when they're on good teams and get better. Because if you're going to play somewhere else, you know what you need to do. You need to get better. If you're going to play here, you know what you need to do. You need to get better. If you want to go to the National Football League and play, this is your last chance to get better because they're not going to give you much opportunity. They're going to cut you or keep you based on how you do. They don't get to practice in pads but so many days. So development occurs in December for us, and that's what we've been focused on. As far as changes going to New Orleans, there hasn't been a tremendous amount of change. I mean, we don't think that we did anything wrong in the prep last year. We didn't necessarily play a great game, but we also played a really good football team. Extremely talented defense, and we got to play better. And we had a block of middle eight where we played really poorly, but I don't think there was anything wrong with our prep. I think it has to do with, when you play a quality team, it's like, in the SEC. Every game we play in the SEC is tight, and so when you play in the playoff, you're going to play a good team. And we trust the prep we have. We trust the rest and recovery we've had, and we're going to trust the plan we have to go out there and play at a high level.
Yeah, Kirby, were you aware that Will was interested in coming back to full-time coaching, and just what was your reaction to him taking the opportunity at Texas?
I'm so happy for him. He loves coaching. He loved coaching when he was here. It was hard for him to step away, and he felt like he needed to, and I had so much respect for him. And shoot, he helped us replace him with the guys we got, and he helped us tremendously in that role. He helped us tremendously this year throughout the year, and he's been really good to me personally, and he's been great to Georgia, and he's been really good to a lot of players that he's recruited. So when he had an opportunity to jump back in, I know he loves it. I think he missed it dearly. He talked to his family about it, his wife and his boys, and they all supported him. And he's going to a great place to work for a great man. And there's not many better opportunities out there to go coach and play than a place like Texas, where you got a lot of infrastructure in place to help you. So wish him nothing but the best.
Kirby, speaking of coaches, Bobo's a finalist for the Broyles. What do you think is kind of the main thing about what he's done this year with the offense, and just basically what he has done to deserve this honor?
Well, you take over with the number of guys we lost. I think we had 4 O-linemen make NFL rosters. He had to replace 4 O-linemen, basically a new quarterback situation outside of the end of last year. Really an entire new backfield, because VTM was our leading guy last year, and replacing a lot of really good wideouts. I think he's done a tremendous job. I think he would give a lot of credit to his staff and what he's done with our offense, where we're not a stat-padded, hurry up, take a lot of snaps, get a lot of plays. I mean, he doesn't chase numbers. Look at what they've done in the red area. It's been incredible. The ability to run the ball has been really, really well, and I think he's a credit for that, because he puts the game plan together. He has to decide ultimately what's in, and he has to decide what's called. And he's done that with a really tough schedule and 2 freshman O-linemen and a lot of O-linemen out that have been injured in and out. So I'm really pleased and proud of what he's done.
Yeah, we didn't see Jonell in the SEC championship games. How was he doing health-wise? What's his status? And then what have the past couple weeks meant for Rashawn Dinkins to have these practices after getting the playing time he did in the SEC championship?
Yeah, Janelle's with us every day. He's trying to get healthy and get better and make himself available. Dink's gotten a lot of reps. Jaden's gotten a lot of reps with his absences. We've rolled some guys through there. But it's always great to get more reps. Dink's repped all year. So I mean, all our kids practice every day. I don't know. Sometimes we think that, it's like they have to go out there and play without having practice. They get lots of reps, and he's growing up and getting better.
Switch back over to Zoom to wrap it up.
We'll go to David Hale with ESPN. David?
Hey, excuse me. Hey, Kirby. What do you think the experience of having gone through last year's playoff game, and obviously it not being the outcome that you wanted, did it leave sort of a unfinished business taste in the mouths of your team, and do you feel like you're better this year because of having gone through that?
Yeah, I can't say we're better for having gone through it. I mean, would we be better if we won that game? Would we be as motivated if we won that game? I don't know that. I think the two teams are very different. I think we're a different leadership group, different team. It's been a different kind of team all year, and not in a good or bad way reflected on last year. So we've been there before, but a lot of these kids weren't there. Some of them were. I think the 2 years are independent of each other, just like this game will be independent of the game against Ole Miss previously.